Testing. face walks into my store, and you're not even screaming yet. Very polite. You let me know if anything catches your fancy.
I'll take a look, sure.
Cash or trade? Let's get started.
Priority Alpha 9 Commanding Officer D. Whitcomb orders the elimination of former members of only Section 3, preventing their knowledge falling into the hands of potentially hostile groups or individuals.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, Vaughn?
Amari.
How you
You're
doing,
back.
man?
The glowing sea. Well,
Hey, I'm doing alright, man. I can't complain. Vaughn with the host, the ninja host hype. Gritsuka, Gunmashnai. What's good with you, man? Yeah, it's been, I know, like, stupidly forever. That's the thing about, adulting and just life in general. Why is it so damn dark in here? Yeah, man, I'm really trying to, you know me. I try to be consistent with the streams, and sometimes that's just not. I am one of the most inconsistent people when it comes to Twitch streaming. You probably ever know. But I try to do it. Try to get in when I can.
I found Virgil. He
So
has a way inside the Institute. But I need a code.
it's good to
from
see
a
you, man.
courser.
Yeah,
A
it is
courser
overrated.
kid. You fought a courser.
To be a kid again, yes.
Unfortunately, I can't help you. I've worked on a lot of synths, but never a courser. I don't know what that chip does.
But some
let
things
alone
never
how to
change.
decode it. But there are people who might. I work with a group that, well, they're the only ones I know that even have a chance at cracking Institute security. They're called the Railroad.
What have you been up to lately, man?
Thanks, Doctor. How do I find them?
I can't contact them directly. They usually come to me when they have a synth that's escaped the Institute and wants new memories. But I do have a code phrase, some kind of clue if I ever needed to find them on my own. Follow
Well,
the Freedom Trail.
Inconsistent AF, man.
All right. I'll find them.
Good luck. I'm sorry what I have is so cryptic, but hopefully you can figure things out as you go.
So I'm pretty sure you're familiar with who this is. Makira Lee X92. I changed her around a little bit in the armor. I am very proud to say I made my damn self. One of the biggest issues I've had with like playing with the X92 Corsair character is like finding an outfit that been just back to chill for the summer, then back to college. Yeah, you in college now, man. What time is this? Where has the time gone, man? It's been that long. Is this your second year in college or your third? Going to your third, actually. Yeah, story of my life. What are these guys doing? You guys know that I had something interesting on them. There'd be no point for these guys to have died for nothing. Unless they were... nothing noteworthy. Oh, there's already a dead guy right here. Okay, I see. They killed old boy right here. A shakedown gone wrong. You don't think you've heard of her? Well, I think you might have. Maybe you haven't. I don't know. Let's just go to a rocket boost up here real quick so you can. So this is AKA X92, who's the Gen 4 Courser version of Mira. You remember Mira Jackson, right? Well, this is X92. This is the oh, hang on. Did we crash? Okay, no. I hate when it does that. For some reason, my game just auto minimizes for no damn reason. It's so annoying. X92. This is the coarser version of Mira Jackson. Of course, the Institute, was very interested in Mira Jackson's exploits as the first female special forces soldier in the Marines. And you'll remember that after Mira died many years ago, they took her remains and her DNA and then crafted X92, aka Makira Lee, off of the genetic genome of Mira Jackson. So this is like the coarser version of her. Uh, so you can tell they look very similar, except of course she's just has the synth eyes. It's not you. The screen did go black. My game, for some reason or another, decided to auto minimize. It should be back by now. It's not you. It happened. It totally happened. You should start seeing things now. Hopefully. Did it come back for you? Let me check my screen capture here, see if it's still not black. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Sorry, that was me being a dinghy there. I for some reason or another manually blacked out my screen. I don't know how I did that, but yeah. You should see it now, though. You should see it now. I saw that it was actually disabled in my OBS for some reason. Okay. Yeah. So where was I? So Makira is the designation of X92. She's a Gen 4 courser from the Institute. She was constructed, made off of the remains and the DNA of Mira Jackson, who you remember, after she died many years ago. Um, so that, you know how the Institute uses DNA of real people to make synths. So this is X92. Or designation X92, Makira Lee. As you can tell, she looks very similar to Mira. I decided to retire Mira a long time ago. And of course, Mira lived to a rightful old age of 83. uh, and she went out with a bang. Went out hand-to-hand combat with a super mutant. Super mutant, of course, killed her, but he then later died of his wounds. So it was an even trade. She retains all of her memories, all of her experience, her combat abilities. Of course, as a Gen 4 courser, her abilities are enhanced. Um, what her primary mission in the Commonwealth is that she is a Gen 4 courser. Yeah, she was old, man. And the Institute was experimenting with a prototype a courser that was stronger, faster, better, more intelligent, is able to resist the exploits that humans use to figure out if you're a synth or not. And what a Gen 4 courser primarily is designed to do is to go into areas and assess these areas and eliminate them and eliminate anomalous threats to make safer viability, the insertion of Institute ground forces for reclamation operations. So basically, she's sent in there to kill the things that normal synths and coursers cannot combat. This is why a Gen 4 courser is remarkably much more stronger, has a entire new suite of technology outfitted inside of them that makes them far more efficient killers, combatants trained in exfiltration, guerrilla warfare, um, various psychological warfare and psyops. Basically, she is the Special Forces division of the Courser Retention Program, or the SRB. She's a one of a kind. She is a prototype, and depending on how well she does, we'll then move forward with the Institute's operation to replace all Gen 3 courses with Gen 4 courses. The armor, I'm proud to say I made myself. Very proud to because one of the things that was it TC? I forgot what it was. A toggle TFC. Okay, one. We'll freeze the frame right there. TFC 1. Alright. So the armor I made myself. I've gotten pretty good at my modding. Let's open her so she can open her eyes a little bit there. Perfect. So this was taken by several different armor mods I took off of the Nexus. And the problem with designing this character is I couldn't find an armor mod that was suitable, that I felt really complemented and suited this particular character and her playstyle. I wanted her outfit to be practical and complementary of her playstyle, her mechanics, and just her overall personality. A Gen 4 core. Oh, what the? Hang on. Anonymous hacker has joined the clan of Ninja Gamer Assassins. Pull up a chair, have a seat, and enjoy the show. You're among friends and fellow ninja gamers alike. Koretsuke, gorimashita. Welcome to the show, man. I appreciate the follow. Hope you are enjoying yourself thus so far. We really haven't started a whole lot. We're just doing some introduction to the character, and of course inserting my own bullshit lore, which is not Fallout canon. So for those of you that are in the channel, whether you're looking or otherwise, don't crucify me. Say, hey Strider, that's not correct. There's no such thing as a Gen 4 Courser, dumbass. I said, well, yeah, I know. It's my own bullshit lore. It is, so that is my disclaimer. Yes, I do make mods. I don't uh I don't like make them from scratch. Don't get me. I'm not like a expert modder. I just take assets of other mods and I compile them, or I retool them, or I re-engineer them to suit my tastes. So this armor I made myself using assets from other armor mods off of the Nexus. This is actually a cumulation of about 7 different armor mods that I put together, and I feel this really complements and suits the futuristic / nano technology that X92 uses. So we'll go ahead and just give you a little bit of an overview of the armor if you guys don't mind. And welcome to this. I love this game and its mods, and that armor looks pretty damn cool. Well, I appreciate that, Hacks. I appreciate it. Thank you. It took me a long time to get this the way I wanted it to. And if we get back to her bunker, you'll see a couple of prototypes of what her armor used to look like until I settled on this one. But I will give shout outs where shout outs is due. The under armor portion that you see right here, the little nano Kevlar, the little nano weave you see right here on her body. This is from the Sirius HN66 combat suit, which is a very popular kind of like, body armor mod on the Nexus. So I took those assets and I used that as a base for the under armor, in addition to the leg pad armor plating that it came with, but the whole thing had stuff on there as well. The pouches are from the Ghost in the Shell Masako Redux armor, which was which was like a redoing of the Masako armor from Ghost in the Shell with and he just added like various pouches and a gun holster. So I just took that, slapped that on there. The scarf is from Armor Smith Extended, like the various scarves that it comes with. But I took the scarf and recolored it black and stuck that on there. The goggles are from West Tech, night vision goggles. It's a must-have mod, especially if you have darker nights like I do. The arm plates are from the Tactical Combat Armor, which is like this little sleek futuristic armor made by the guy who designed the Jane Bod mod. Very cool armor in and of itself, but I like the bits and pieces of it, and I just slapped it on there. The arm guards, you probably can't see them too well because she's standing in a weird position in the light here. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and transport her to another place where you can probably actually see her even better, because the lighting in the outside world is so weird with these artificial lights and contact shadows. So we're just gonna first save the game first, because sometimes I have issues with the area we're about to transport to, which is like an open world space area that I use as a testing area for, just to do stuff with. I'll just go ahead and hop in there real quick, just so you guys can see it clearly, because there's no shadows in there. So no matter what angle I look at her from, you guys will be able to see. All right, perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and freeze the time. Okay, so back to what I was saying. All right. So the vest, which is the most striking. How was your day? My day was pretty darn awesome, Hacker. I cannot complain. Work kind of sucked, but it went by really, really quickly. So it was a pretty regular day. I mean, there's not much that goes on in my life. Actually, truth be told, I have a pretty boring life. I wake up, I go to work, I do the work, I get off of work, I come home, I get in front of my computer, I check YouTube for a little bit, and then I hop on here, whether I Netflix or I play Fallout. Sometimes I sit in a corner and cry myself, to sleep. But that's just that's another chat for another day. That's really about it, man. Uh, it's really, really, really about it. And then I mod. You know, my life sucks, man. Don't be like me, okay? Don't be like me. Don't come here. You do you, boo boo kitty. All right, so let's get back to hang on, I got a text here. All right. So the vest, which I'm very, very proud of, which actually really made the suit stand out. This is from the Metal Gear Solid XOF Parasite Armor series. Well, it requires you to download several mods: the XOF Armor Pack, with the Parasite Armor Pack, and then the Metal Gear Solid Armor Pack. And then taking the vest from there, and the pouches are from there as well. The side pouches are from the Nano suit from Vastex Nano suit, which is the slimmer waist accessories. And of course, as typical Metal Gear Solid, this is the back pouch. I love those back fanny packs. I think they're fucking awesome. The backpack is from the Rainbow Six Siege Operator mod pack, armor pack. So I just took that off of the Black Mirror armor. And this was a bitch to put on because it came with so many other parts. It was like a plate carrier and an ammo pouch along the front. And it took so long to get that thing like scrubbed because it was all part of the backpack. It wasn't like individual pieces. So I had to blend and blend and blend and mesh and remesh and remesh. And I was having stuff like little pins sticking out of her boobs. See, if I zoom in on her boob right here, you can probably see those little black things back there. That's all of like the pouches I had to shrink down and reduce their surface area and compress and flip and fold over. Oh my god, it was a fucking nightmare. Took like 2 hours to do. But anyway. And then the boots are like 3 different boots. The leg plates are from the Ghost in the Shell, Makoto Kusanagi armor. The actual boots right here are from another Nano armor mod, and these little black parts with little red lights that's off from the Tactical Combat armor. So I have to meld all those two together with the straps. And are you on console? Is that why you don't have access to them? Consoles come a pretty long way, man. Pretty darn long way. And of course, and this is for Vaughn, because Vaughn's probably gonna wanna, Vaughn's gonna want me to mention this. Is for those of you that know Vaughn. Vaughn is about one particular thing, and of course that's that booty. My characters tend to be on the thicker side. I look at it as the fact that it's because she has all this nanovascular plasty muscular tissue in her body that gives her augmented strength and speed. So as such, the surface area of that muscular has to be a bit thicker than normal because she has a lot of muscles. Not like human muscles, but they're made out of a nanovascular or a vascular nanoplasty composite polymer. So even though she's about the size of a very well-to-do woman, she stands at 5'11", but with all of the technology that is inside of her body, because she's a Gen 4 Courser, everything from her positonic mainframe to her VML matrixy drive to her endokinetic magnetic foil power dampeners, she weighs about 420 pounds, chat. So for those of you thinking, man, she's sexy as hell, look at that ass, man, look at them curves, I would love her to top me. You wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want it. She would crush you. It would not be a pleasant way for you to go. I can only preface this enough. Um, so in a nutshell, that's X92. I don't know how long you've been in the chat, hacker, but I did give a backstory of who she is and why she's there. If you didn't hear it, of course I'd be happy to tell it to you. If you did, you could just say, "Hey, Strider, I was looking and I heard that already. Shut the fuck up and please play the game." Either or, I'll be happy to oblige to do either or. I just, don't want to have to repeat myself for people who have already heard it because no one wants to have stuff repeated. You did not hear it. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and arm her up so she looks kind of cool in some type of a pose. All right. Let's go ahead and freeze that. All right. This is right here. Okay. I don't know why this game sounds so daggone loud. Cause like I hardly hear myself talk. All right, let's just turn down the master just a little bit so I can kind of go into um, explanation here. Okay, so this is Makira Lee, designation X92. She is a prototype Gen 4 courser. As it stands, the coursers that are currently operational in the Institute are your Gen 3 coursers. A Gen 3 courser is just a Gen 3 synth that has been trained and undergone the courser program under the SRB or the Synth Retention Program. Certain synths that show promise are then put into the courser program. However, the problem with the Gen 3 coursers is the same with the Gen 3 synth. Over time, they became very easy to pick out by asking them certain lines of questioning. Also, a Gen 3 courser is no much stronger than a Gen 3 synth. Because of the dangers that are out there in the Commonwealth, and because of the Institute's desire to ultimately reclaim the Commonwealth, the regular coursers no longer became viable to deal with some of the more anomalous threats. A courser was created to do three things: one, infiltrate human society; two, gather information on the movements of human society to relay to the Institute; viable assets to be taken by the Institute to become synths themselves; and three, to kill humans. However, a courser would not stand that much of a chance against a super mutant, against more stronger mutated threats in the wasteland than a regular synth would, because a synth is only a little bit stronger than a human is, but not by much. A Gen 4 Courser, on the other hand, possesses several times the strength, speed, and calculation ability of a Gen 3 Courser. A Gen 4 Courser was designed not only to kill humans, but also to kill anomalous threats, such as a super mutant. A Gen 4 Courser has the ability and the combat effectiveness to kill a super mutant in hand-to-hand combat, with a 97% chance of success. This makes a Gen 4 Courser extremely dangerous, not only to a human, but also very well equipped to deal and combat the more dangerous anomalous threats in the wasteland that a Gen 3 Courser is just not equipped to do. In addition to a Gen 4 Courser, what makes them very different than your Gen 3s is that a Gen 4 Courser is capable of making their very own decisions on the fly by themselves without having been connected to the SRB mainframe, which governs and controls the algorithm that synths are controlled by, such as shutdown protocols, return to base protocols, subliminal trafficking through harmonic resonance, which is the same technology that's used to relay individuals in and out of the Institute using harmonic resonance. A Gen 4 Courser is able to do their own thing and is capable of having independent thought. Now, some will argue within the Institute that this is very dangerous because having a Courser that not only is 10 times more stronger than a Gen 3 Courser and a lot more faster and is extremely efficient at, killing, then why would you want to have free thought? Well, they are programmed with a failsafe, and they have a prime directive algorithm based off of a VML or virtual machine learning interface. And the virtual machine learning interface will tell them that every decision they make has to be in support and the protection of Institute assets and interests. So every decision she makes, although she's free to make her own decisions to achieve her missions in any way that she sees fit, it is ultimately for the good and the benefit and the forward advancement of the Institute and their assets and their interests. So, in a way, she could never defect and turn against her creators, because even though she has the free will to make her own decisions, they are still ultimately governed in the interest of the Institute. The only difference is that the Institute's SRB mainframe algorithm cannot control her directly. This makes a Gen 4 Courser extremely unpredictable in combat and allows him to be extremely creative. The problem with the regular Gen 3 Courser is that after a while they become predictable because they follow a set pattern of programming. And once you learn to exploit that programming, you can exploit the Courser, and you can then identify the Courser and eliminate the Courser. And that was a problem that the Institute was having because people became wise to, of course, the presence of the Institute and learning how to devise ways of equipping the programming of a Sith by asking them certain questions like, do you like baseball or soccer? Certain questions like that will make them answer in such a way that will give the humans, that will tip them off that they are a Sith and they're not actual humans. A Gen 4 Courser is completely resistant to that type of reverse engineering of programming. So, in addition to being faster, stronger, and being a lot more cunning and being able to make their own decisions on the fly and being extremely creative and being adaptable out in the field, this is what makes a Gen 4 Courser a very viable asset to the Institute and a danger and a nightmare to anyone that comes across her way because they're just completely unpredictable. They can not only blend well in society, but they also possess a suite of software called an enhanced rhythmic algorithm displacement key, or basically what I have to call a human hack tool. Say, for example, that you're having a conversation with X92. She doesn't know anything about you, but her objective is to extract as much information as you as possible. But you're not going to give her the information she wants. She's able to release certain pheromones through the pores of her skin that can cause subliminal and slight suggestion. As human beings, we are susceptible to pheromones, which we cannot smell, but they do alter and change our perceptions of people and alter and change our responses to people. She's able to detect your pheromones based off of your sweat glands, your body temperature, the sound of your heartbeat, which she can hear, which she can time in beats per minutes that will give her information as to your emotional state of being, and can then release a certain concoction of pheromones to complement that to either lull you into a state of calm or fear or apprehension, or allowing you to be very lackadaisical with your speech without you even knowing. This is what a Gen 4 Courser can do, in mention to all the other things that I previously described that a Gen 3 Courser cannot. And she is the first of her time, the first of her kind. She is a prototype. And depending on how well she does with this primary mission of spearheading what the Institute's goal is, then they will then replace all Gen 3 Coursers with the Gen 4 Courser program. Her primary mission of being into the Wasteland is to eliminate anomalous threats, to make safer viability the insertion of Institute ground forces and reclamation operations. She goes into areas that are deemed too dangerous for regular Institute assets and clears out and wipes out and neutralizes those threats to make those areas safe for the Institute to then move in to set up forward operating bases, to set up outposts, to set up ground reclamation forces, field scientist recon divisions to go out and then start reclaiming the Commonwealth from the surface. That is the primary mission objective of a Gen 4 Courser. So, I hope you enjoyed my bullshit lore. This is not canon, again. This is not canon. This is not Fallout canon. This is my own lore. So, before you guys say, Strider, that's not correct. There's no such thing as a Gen 4 Courser, dumbass. No, that's just my disclaimer. But, when I do make a character, I try to give them some kind of a backstory based off of the lore and trying to be as respectful to the lore as possible, but give my own little interpretation, my own little twist on it, just so the character has a reason for existing in this world. Like, why would she be here? What's her purpose for existing in it? I appreciate it, Hacker. Thank you. Awesome. That warms my heart to hear you say that. You could have said, Strider, your lore sucks. You're a fucking noob. I've heard better. You fucking hack. No, but it's fine. So all of her weapons are energy-based weapons. And these are weapons that she has designed herself. and I'll just have to go back to the world so you can actually see the weapon impacts. She saw inadequacies of the standard Institute weapon systems platforms, and then sought to make changes to reverse engineer and retool the weapons to suit her specific combat operational needs. So she has a weapon for every scenario, and she took weapons from the Institute, weapons from the Brotherhood of Steel, and more importantly, which was a personal interest to her, the Gauss technology of the railroad, and she married the three into weapons systems platforms that are lightweight, maneuverable, and are multi-phase functional. And what I mean by multi-phase functional is that they have the ability. Let me just find something I can shoot. Um, so I'll just introduce the weapons, and she only has a handful of them. She doesn't have a whole walking tank arsenal armory. I think that's just unrealistic and bullshit. You should have a weapon that suits her causes. Um, so this is the MKR 44 pulse rifle. MKR means modular kinetic rifle. 44 means it's a 44th reiteration of this weapon systems platform. So it took her 44 tries to come up with a carbine pulse energy weapons platform that was able to deliver the kind of damage that she wants, but allow it to be lightweight and maneuverable. This uses an integrated ferroelectromagnetic Gauss technology. Now, the railroad has regular Gauss technology, and for those of you that don't know what Gauss rifles are, they actually do exist in the real world, albeit they have a long way to go before they're actually viable in combat. Basically, what a Gauss rifle does is it takes a round and it fires it through electromagnetic rail induction to accelerate the round at exponential low supersonic speeds, and allows the bullet to hit at such an impact where it causes exponential damage. The problem with Gauss technology was that it's very bulky, heavy, and impractical. So if you look at these little coils just above the magazine, those little, I'm not gonna take my mouse here, can't see my mouse, sorry. But there's a series of metal coils right above the magazine along the upper receiver of the weapon. Those right there are not only Gauss magnetic ferrocoils, but they're also combined with kinetic, I can never say this word, kinetic depleted uranium. And what she did is that if you see the magazine here, the magazine is actually a block of depleted uranium. And this block of depleted uranium is then taken by the upper receiver. So when she pulls the trigger, there is a diamond edged shear that will shear off a tiny piece of this block of uranium, and this block of uranium is then goes through a superconductor and is electromagnetically induced, and the electromagnetic induction is then fired through the railing system, and as it goes through the railing system, see this little block right here, this railing system then coats it with a plasma coating, a plasma. So the combination of a plasma coating with kinetic induction railing Gauss technology will then fire a superheated ionic plasma pulse that travels at over um, at over 4,260 miles per hour, which is twice the speed of Mach 2. And when the round hits on a wall, it creates a superheated condensation impact, and it superheats the gases. And because the gases are superheated, because of the sheer speed and the velocity that the round hits at, those superheated gases then create micro tears in the fabric of vacuum, in the space around it, and that vacuum then creates a superheated implosion, which then explodes and causes exponential endothermic damage. The result, I like your science behind everything. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. This is all bullshit. This is not real science, guys. This is BS science. So don't get it twisted. I'm just using words that do have some type of scientific validity, and I'm just adding a whole bunch of fiction to it. But the result is that it has a round that can hit with over 485,000 joules of force. To put that into perspective, that's equivalent to about 850 pounds of TNT. So put the weapon to put it into perspective, this is how the weapon fires, and you don't even see the round coming out. It's that fast. And I went to Creation Kit and made the round that damn fast, so it's almost instantaneous when we hit. That's it right there. It just. Well, let me turn this up. You guys can barely hear the sound. I'm sorry. You guys got to hear it to appreciate it. That is the MKR-44 pulse rifle. It is her primary weapon, and she uses it to kill lots of things. Thank you. This weapon is actually called the modular. It's called the Factor rifle off of the Nexus. All I did was with the weapon. It's not my weapon. I downloaded it, but I went into the Creation Kit and I changed the firing behaviors. Made my own projectiles for the weapon. Made my own behaviors for the weapon. All I used was just the weapon's meshes and textures. Everything else under the hood is my work. All right. So next is the M67 Onikage. This is a standard. It's not standard, but this is a again. It's a Gauss pistol. Nothing fancy. It's just a Gauss pistol. Again, she really likes Gauss technology. She really likes Gauss. Gauss is very, very practical. Let's just go ahead and zoom in here. So to go into a little bit, why is this game so damn loud? Goodness! See, it's one thing I hate about Fallout is like the sound localization of the audio is so all over the place. Like you can have one thing low, and then something is like super high, and then you have to turn it all down, even like midway. Then you can't hear nothing at all. But you turn it up just a little bit, and everything is like a fucking horde of elephants in your ear. Especially if you have headphones on. Goodness. All right. So the M67 Onikage. Onikage means the true demon. That's what it means in Japanese, true demon. And this weapon truly is a demon amongst monsters. Effects down, the voice up. Yeah. I listen, dude. I do that. Effects down. Is it effects down? Is that where I'm fucking up at? Okay. Voice up, radio up. Let's turn the effects on medium. Okay. It's crazy, man. All right. So, even though this uses 50 caliber rounds, you're thinking, well, it holds like 50 of them. How can it hold 50 caliber rounds? Well, the key to that is actually mass element 0. And I know that's from so it's a Mass Effects writer. You're not turning any rules over here. Well, there's the Mass Effects technology that actually does exist within the Fallout universe. Well, if you look at what the Institute is doing with their relay technology, well, she was able to make a micro relay condenser within the magazine well of this weapon. So even though a weapon normally will hold 50 caliber, will probably only hold 5 50 caliber rounds, the micro mass relay, which seats at the very top of the magazine well, is actually capable of calling in an additional 45 more rounds from the mass relay condenser inside there. So basically, the ammunition that's in her backpack has another micro mass relay, and the rounds are actually sent into the magazine up to a period of 45 charges. After 45 charges, then the actual magazine needs to be ejected and a new one placed, as the mass relay will then need time to recharge. And the recharging station in her backpack, and I can actually show it to you right here. See, and there's a reason for everything, chat. I have a reason for everything on here. The relay, I'll have to probably zoom in on it because you guys won't be able to see it from here. Okay. If I go just past her, yeah, see right there. It's right. See, if you look at her book bag, right? But inside of her book bag, you guys see. Hang on, let me just. There it is, right there. You see that right there? You see that little pack right there, little charging unit that has a number on there. That right there, my friends, is the micro mass relay um, device that sits inside of her backpack. And this is what causes the little fancy teleportation bullets. See, I'm not bullshitting, chat. There's a reason for it. I covered my bases. You'll never catch me slipping, chat. Never. Never in a million years. that right there is what we call an Easter egg, chat. Because you would never see it without that little camera zoom in on her. But it's there. It's fucking there. All right. So that's how we can use those. And the 50 caliber rounds are actually 50 caliber Gauss rounds. They're just in a 50 caliber shell casing for extra damage, extra pain. Um, and the upper housing cal on here holds the kinetic discharge and allows the kinetic discharge to have more of a space for the discharge to be housed without the gun blowing up in our hand because it's such a small device. So the upper cowling right here, which is this little device right here, that holds an extra buffer coil, and those extra buffer coils is what allows the weapon to fire such heavier rounds without the weapon coming to pieces or blowing your arm off in the process. Okay, so this little baby is the MX-24 Phazon Disruptor. This is Makira's favorite handgun. Again, all the weapons she's made herself, but has personal significance to her. She has always wanted to find a way to marry the power of the Liberty Prime lasers with plasma technology. And she found a way to do that by downloading schematics from Liberty Prime's weapon systems on one of her clandestine recon missions, which she did herself because she saw that the Brotherhood has the most powerful weapon in the Commonwealth, that's Liberty Prime. And Liberty Prime's primary weapon is the Liberty Laser. Well, how would you take a Liberty Prime laser and make a compact version of it in a handgun form? Again, of course, reverse engineering the Brotherhood BLR or the laser rifle platform, and then using the laser rifle platform as a base to then place a plasmatic induction relay, which is right here. Those little red dots, so the plasmatic induction relay, which is housed in a thermocaustic housing on here. And a thermocaustic housing gets it's thermocaustic. So thermocaustic basically means it creates temperatures of where this thing can fire ionized gases at about 800,000 degrees Fahrenheit, or about a little bit hotter than the sun. Um, and then come by using the Liberty Prime platform and then placing a micro version of it inside the weapons housing here. That little green dot right there is that whole little rod right there is just a rod of ionized plutonium, weapons grade plutonium, that adds a nuclear housing to the weapon here. So when you fire this thing, it has pretty catastrophic impacts. Gotta turn this up a little bit because I want you to hear it. I want you to hear it. The TLDR version of this is basically this is an energy weapon version of a fucking hand cannon. The TLDR it's an energy hand cannon. That's the TLDR version. Yeah, it is pretty badass, ain't it? Okay. All right. So last, well, not last. So of course, every now and then, the desire to actually shoot things with actual bullets, because even though she's a synth, Gen 4, she has a personality, and she has a certain degree of emotions, and she has certain things she takes pleasure in. And as one of the most, prolific and accomplished killers that the Institute has to offer, she does like to do things in creative ways. Sometimes she likes the old ways. Sometimes energy weapons just isn't enough, you know. Sometimes you just want to put bullets in things. So this is when she was researching pre-war weapons. Um, One of her favorite LMGs that she saw that the old Special Forces guys used was the LSAT. Well, this is the LSW, or light shoulder weight weapon. WSA standard light shoulder weight weapon. Very similar to an LSAT, but it's much more compact. And it uses 308 rounds as opposed to the LSAT's 5.56 rounds. Really nothing else special to it. It's just a lightweight machine gun that fires 308 caliber. It's made out of a higher tensile polymer material that allows the weapon to have a lot more durability to be able to fire such a heavy round and rapid fire. That's basically about it. With a 175 round box magazine. Sometimes you just want to put bullets in things. Okay. Alright. This is her standard knife. Again, she made it herself. This is the BK9 combat blade. But what makes this blade very different is that the edge is actually sharpened by micro laser technology. So micro laser technology is used for extra sharpness. The metal itself is made out of a diamond carbide titanium alloy mix. This thing is so strong that with her strength, she could punch this to 2 feet of solid steel without breaking or damaging or bending the knife. To put this into context, she can kill a super mutant with this with 1 or 2 well-placed stabs. Alright, last and not least is the Pride and Joy. This is the thing that goes boom boom, because everyone needs to have a heavy weapon. When you're dealing with Death Claws or Super Mutant Behemoths, sometimes, pulse rounds aren't enough. Sometimes, Gauss rounds aren't enough. Sometimes you just gotta blow that motherfucker up. So this is a kinetic shotgun, X45 kinetic shotgun. And what this thing does is that it fires superheated, explosive, incendiary Gauss rounds. So if Gauss wasn't enough, but slash explosive incendiary Gauss rounds with an electrokinetic impact. Allow me to demonstrate. We'll go ahead and just go to first person for this. Sometimes you just gotta blow a motherfucker up. And that's what the X45 does. It is the heavy weapon system of her arsenal. And that's it. Those are her weapons. They all have their own specialized uses. So I hope you guys enjoyed the weapons demonstration. Last but not least, she does have of course, a jetpack, because you gotta have mobility, right? This changes your whole playstyle. Hang on, did we teleport to Good Neighbor? Yeah, we went to Good Neighbor. Whoops. So Good Neighbor has a barrier that you can cross, and it's not intended for you to go that high, obviously. But that we went over the fence and we came into Good Neighbor. All right, let's just go back out. Alrighty. So now I believe what we have to do is that we need to go back to let's do another. So I have a mod here that does not you don't have to kill like one faction or the other, which I think is dumb, especially for this character. In her mind, um, it's a waste to kill the Brotherhood or the Railroad. It's stupid. as far as she's concerned. The Institute tasks her with doing anything that she deems necessary to establish viability for the Institute for ground reclamation. So why kill the Brotherhood when they have all this technology and all these resources at their disposal? When you can take them over from within, and then when the time is right, replace every single one of the key people with synths, so that the Institute controls the Brotherhood, and the same with the Railroad. And then you have all that technology and all that resources at your disposal. So there's a mod here I have that allows you to do that. If you choose to kill one faction, you can, but you can also make it so that nobody kills anybody and still be able to do all of their quest lines. And for X92, that's the most viable solution. Um, you have such a very powerful potential ally, so why not assimilate them? Why destroy when you can assimilate? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on the Brotherhood and then take them over. Whoa! Hang on. What the hell hit me? Oh, these ghouls. Let me turn off the sound effects here. Now that I'm done talking for the most part as far as explaining the character. That, my friend, is the power of the MKR. And we'll switch to the other handgun here. So you guys can see these things at work. Whoa! 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 Who the hell? That dude was spraying and praying. I prefer to play it at a third-person view for the most part because, you know, I like to look at my characters. I will switch to a first-person in certain instances, like if it's like a really confined interior area where the character is actually blocking your view. But aside from that, I prefer the third person. Did we select that mission yet? Oh, we gotta listen to the whatchamacallit. We may not be within range of it. Yeah, we're not within range of it. Full exposure. It's just one of those, also one of these stumbled upon areas. So I've done the mod called Stumbled Upon. Adds a whole bunch of different like interior areas to the game, and they're not like on your map markers. There's no like quest objective for. You just stumble upon them. And I definitely don't recognize this thing, so this is definitely one of these little interior modded areas. I always like to go in each one, check them out, see what's there. Some of them aren't dungeon areas. Some of them are just shops like this. Damn, it is bright as hell in here. Gosh, the lighting. Ugh, my eyes. Can we talk to you? Hello? I think she sells cameras. I mean, oh, now she goes to the register.
Welcome to the full exposure. Can I interest you in a brownie? It's only
Cameron.
500 caps.
$500 for a fucking brownie?
Really? 500 caps? That's it?
Oh, should I be charging more? Or are you being sarcastic? I can't tell. Keep in mind, the camera doesn't work.
You sell cameras?
Technically, I sell film. Great for collecting. According to Diamond City legend, people used to buy packs of baseball cards as part of a tax plan to fund schools. Only the packs were sealed, so you never really knew what was inside. Well, used cameras are the same thing. They're filled with pre-war films, memories of the past. You buy a camera, you develop the film, and you get a collectible you get to keep forever.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Yeah, there is one thing. The other day, this guy gave me a camera and said he'd pay me 1,000 caps to develop the film. I couldn't tell if he was serious or not, but on the off chance he was, I kind of bought it off of him for 500. But hey, it might be worth 4 times that. Just gotta head over to the abandoned Photoshop to develop it. I'd go there myself, but it's too risky.
And this isn't some kind of scam?
Scam? I didn't think about that. Do you think it might be? Or are you saying I'm scamming you? No, I wouldn't do that. I have my business to think of.
Interest. I'm interested. Let's get this. She's just looking at her like, bitch, please. I don't believe you. Okay.
Okay, I'll help you.
Really? You're not just saying that, are you? Great. You bring those pictures back and I'll pay you 200 caps for them. Least I can do.
Okay. We could take a little detour. Generally interested. It's quite a long way. I was thinking she was just saying this was like a hop, skip, and a jump. Hello. Ah. Whoa, really? Trying to get that, target that head. Can't target the head. Alright guys, I have to cut this short. Adulting. I have to do a thing. But I'll probably be back on tomorrow. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'm sorry to cut this short, but I do have to go. Real life calls. It's just one of those things. Until next we meet, take care of yourselves and each other. Strider out. And thank you for the follows. You guys are awesome. Good night.